the biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? How y'all doing tonight out there? It's the Bo P Show. As always, every Wednesday night, this is what we do, man. 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, right here on Instinct Radio. It's the Bo P Show. Live and direct, right here, the Bo P Show. I'm sorry y'all couldn't hear me before that, but here we are. We live, man. It's the Bo P Show. Live and direct, right here on Instinct Radio. 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, every Wednesday night. This is the place to be. This is where the funny is, right here, every Wednesday night. We thank y'all already on the line, Miss Candy Struthers DeVore. Thank you for tuning in already, and everybody else is tuning in already live. We just coming on. The lines are already blowing up. Angelo, Sykes, Mike Stone, what's happening with you out there? I got a great show for y'all tonight, man. I got my man. I'm hoping he come through. I've been asking this brother to come in the studio live. I've had him on the show before, and he called in, but he said, man, when I come to Atlanta, I definitely want to sit in with you. So tonight, I'm waiting on my man, Mr. George Wallace, the legendary George Wallace. He's going to be here in a second. And I also got some special guests in the house. They call themselves the, let me get this right. I don't want to say that my nickname for them because they get mad every time I say it. But they call themselves the Uncensored Seniors and the Comedian. The Uncensored Seniors and the Comedian. My girl Boomerang is brought her girlfriends in here, and I don't think they don't look like they're seniors to me. They look like young ladies, but they said they call themselves seniors because they cuss a lot. So I don't know what that's about, but we're going to talk to them a little later on also on the show. But man, everything going on in the world, you know what's going on. I ain't got to tell you about it. We don't want to bring up the man's name who's running the country right now. He's doing what he's doing, and hopefully everybody out there in Houston, man, stay safe. Everybody in Houston, please stay safe. Take care of each other. Now's the time to come together and be as one. It takes something like this to make people come together. I remember I went through Hurricane Katrina, and I was there, so I know what you're going through. And I'm going to do something special for you guys here too on behalf of the Bo P Show. On the Bo P Show, we're going to try to put together some kind of fundraiser for you guys too, with some comedy club owners and some other people that I know, some other friends of mine in the business that got entertainment spots here in Atlanta. We're going to try to do something to help donate some money to you guys also. And because I remember Hurricane Katrina, it was rough, man. You know, and all I remember though is as bad as people say Mississippi was for its racism and whites and blacks not getting along. When that hurricane hit, and everybody needed food, and everybody needed ice, and everybody needed water, wasn't no such thing as racism. All I know is everybody was out there trying to help each other, trying to save each other's lives. There was people hanging in trees, there's people floating by, and people trying to save each other on boats, and you know, people was sharing ice, sharing water, sharing food. The military came through with the food rations, you know, the MREs, and everybody who had, you know, MREs, they were sharing with other people too, and it was just a great thing to see people come together. But it's sad to say that it takes a disaster like that to bring people together. And New Orleans, you know, they felt it too. And it's sad to say too, Houston, you'll never be the same. New Orleans was never the same. Biloxi is never the same since too. And it's sad to say, Houston, all you ghetto brothers and sisters, you won't be going back to no ghetto no more. When they wash it away like this, it's going to be condominiums now. That 4th Ward project is going to be 4th Ward condominiums. That 5th Ward project is going to be 5th Ward condominiums. So this is a way for God to cleanse the city. He couldn't do it. He couldn't let the humans couldn't do it. You know, the city run them up. Atlanta, you know, I mean not Atlanta, but New Orleans was running them up, and the city themselves couldn't clean it up. God cleaned it up. He flooded the whole place out. Came back fresh, new. And if you ain't getting your shit together, you're gonna be out of there. So all you brothers and sisters in Houston, you're gonna be misplaced, man. Good luck to you. I hope you find a great place to stay. But you won't be moving back into that neighborhood. I promise you that. They're gonna outprice it for you. They're gonna clean it up, and you're gonna be here in Atlanta in the projects with us, in Mississippi in the projects, Alabama, and in Louisiana in the projects. But I hope that ain't the case. But it happens. It happens. And everybody out there watching, Yolanda Barnes, everybody's out there watching. Thank you, Jay Blankenship, my man Glenn Mason, Kimberly Parkman, Thank y'all for watching. Jay, give us a call, man. Give us a call. Jay is a brother. He knows business. There's a lot of people out there now, Jay, going to be getting some FEMA money, going to be getting some Red Cross money. They're going to be calling in with 5 or 6 different kids, Social Security numbers, getting money. What do they need to do with that money when they get it, Jay Black? Call me, man. 478-569-6474 is the number to call. 478-569-6474 is the number to call. Before my man George Wilder gets here, let's talk to some people out there that can help some people in Houston and know what's going on. Jay, give me a call. Blanket ship. Call me. And let people know what to do with the money when they get it. Don't buy randoms. Don't buy pit bulls. Don't buy new cars. Get you somewhere to stay so your kids will be safe. Get you some food. Get you somewhere to shelter and settle down. Because I know I was in Hurricane Katrina when all them brothers, they would sit down there, and sisters would sit down there, and they would go from this spot to that spot, filling out FEMA forms with every damn Social Security number they can find from anybody that have a child. And then guess what? The government came back looking for that money. So you're going to get caught. If you try to run with that FEMA money, trying to use 5 or 6 different people's Social Security number, that kids you know, calling everybody and say, what's your child's Social Security number? And they give you their child's Social Security number, you getting all them checks, FEMA gonna come find, government gonna come find you. They did it before. I know some people went to prison because they got 12 checks, 20 checks, 30 checks. Every kid's Social Security number they can make up. They had a name they can associate to it. They were calling their people all over the country, giving your child's Social Security number. Because that's all you had to have. And you can go down there and file as many times as you want to, as long as you had, I'm trying to take care of my poor children. I got 7 of them at home. Here's their Social Security. They had them on a postcard. The first one, little junior boy, named Little Boy Junior, 4279 244 7422. And baby Junior, he my baby boy, 411 222 7447. Who else you got? I got 3 daughters. They triplets. Little Tina, Big Tina, and other Tina. And her Social Security number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm telling you, you're going to get locked up doing that shit. I'm telling you, don't do it. Do not do it. I'm telling you. Save yourself a lot of headache and don't do it. Mega King, what's up? Mike Stone, what's up? My man, Sean. What's up, Glenn? Glenn in the house. What's up, Rolanda? Thank everybody for watching. Anybody who went through Hurricane Katrina, man, if you want to see what people go through during a catastrophe like this, when Hurricane Katrina happened, I didn't know that I was going through the same thing with everybody else because I was a cameraman, and, I was a photographer, I was a director. I had my camera out, and I was shooting video the whole time. And I shot video. And when I was helping people out, I had my pickup. I would have a truckload of ice, a truckload of food, a truckload of water, and I would drive through these neighborhoods because I had a friend of mine who was in the military, my man Michael Wallace, in Mississippi. Thank God for Mike. Mike would bring his National Guard troops would bring a truckload of water, food, MREs, and food and ice to my house and would drop it off. And I would take that food and spread it to everybody I could find. They would drive down streets where people were just homeless. And if you want to see some of that footage, I didn't try to benefit on the footage, not like some other people I know who did footage on Hurricane Katrina and made some money on it. I didn't think about it at the time of doing that. Actually, when I did present it, I put it in a film festival. It was in the Sweet Auburn Film Festival here in Atlanta, Georgia, and it won 5th place. A lot of people don't even know this because I never advertised it, never promoted it. And also, what it did was it got recognition from Harvard University Medical School. And Harvard University Medical School licensed the footage from me for 5 years to do a study on what the human mind go through in the worst catastrophe at the time in U.S. history, which is Hurricane Katrina in 2005 in Biloxi, Waveland, Bay St. Louis, Ocean Springs, Mississippi. And so that footage was used to educate people on what the human mind went through during a catastrophe like that. And so what I've done is compress some of that footage and put it on YouTube. It's called Katrina Ground Zero, Part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think about 8 or 9 parts of it on there. So if you want to see that footage sometime, go to YouTube and look up Katrina Ground Zero, Part 1, Part 2, spelled like that, Part 1, Part 2, That's because a lot of Katrina videos, but mine are Katrina Ground Zero, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 5, and you'll see a lot of the footage that I shot, and you hear me communicate with people. And what's crazy about it was I was going through the same thing they were going through, but at the time I didn't realize I was going through it because I was too anxious to document what was going on. It's like, I can't believe we're living like this. Gas line for days. People sitting in gas line for 2 or 3 days trying to wait for gas. I mean, people waiting on food, couldn't get it. Family members was dying, they couldn't get to the other side. It was telling me these stories, and you could see the footage that I have, and it's just amazing. When I go look at it, I'm telling you right now, if you're a fan, if you're not a fan of footage like this, don't go look at it, because it's tearful to see what people have to do during that time to survive. And the main thing I got from my video was that people pull together during times like these. They don't divide during color and race and who you are, Mexican, black, white. If you can help somebody, your human nature comes out is to help people. You know, during these times, you don't look at, oh, that's a black person about to die in a flood, I ain't finna go get him. Or that's a white person, let him die. No, you see a human, and that's what we need to get back to. And it's sad to say that it takes God to bring that out of us every time in a big way like this, but it does happen. And so go check that footage out. And everybody that's continuing to watching right now, thank you for tuning in. George Wallace is on his way. I got a special guest too. He just called me. I wish I could have took his call to see what he was trying to say to me, but I was on the air here live. Christopher Lewis, thank you for watching. Candy, thank you for watching. And I think I'm gonna bring them up here sooner than I wanted to. Rob, Rohan, Charles Dagan, happy birthday. Glenn Griswold, Rodney Bingham, my man out there. How you doing, Rodney, out there in Texas, man? How you and your family doing? Call me, Rodney, 478-569-6474. 478-569-6474. Some of my Houston friends, call me, let me know you're doing all right tonight. And like I say, I got a real special guest coming in with George coming on. Also, stick around in the 9 o'clock hour. I got actor DeJoy Atwood from the new CBS television show Valor. He's going to be here tonight. He's going to come in and tell you. Hold on a second. Let me talk to Mr. Chris Dipetta. He's trying to call me. Good afternoon. Yeah. Hey, you outside? You by the pizza? We right across the street from the pizza place in the big old field. I'm finna send my man out there now. He's gonna find you. The parking lot in the big old field across from the pizza place. Across from J.R. Cricket. Across from J.R. Cricket's. That field. Right before Walmart. Exactly. He's coming out now to get you. All right. Yeah, you park in the field. No, don't park in Walmart. Park in the field right here by us. All right. We're live, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. That was my surprise guest calling, and we are live. And he's coming in now. And it's just live. It's just live TV. Like this happens like this. We don't cut, stop for none of that. We keep it going. Chris Dipetta's in the house, coming in, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you know who he is. When he get here, I will let you know who he is. Bobby Brown, Aline, how you doing? Skip Clark, everybody out there watching. Thank y'all for watching, man. I got the cussing seniors coming up. They call themselves the uncensored seniors. I call them. Can I tell them y'all nickname? Yes. No, I'm not gonna do that to y'all. Come on later on. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna bust the bubble till they come on later on. And everybody, if you could do something for the people out there in Hurricane Harvey out there, make sure you do something. Kevin Hart has put out the $25,000 to all his actor friends. I would just tell you right now, I don't have $25,000. I don't have it to give, Ken. I'm working. If I gave them my $25,000, I'm gonna be homeless. They're gonna have to give it back to me. So I'm gonna give him what I can. But Kevin is doing a big thing. I think his organization now has raised over $1 million already, and it's doing big things. So that's a good thing that brothers like that who have the money can do that. But if you're waiting on my $25,000, I'm like Joel Osteen. I didn't know you needed mine. If you'd have told me that, I could have put some aside for you after Katrina. But I don't have it right now. Sean, what's up, Sean Warren? But I don't have it right now. But I will give what I can, and I am going to do some benefits for you. I've got a special benefit for you guys coming up. My people in Lake Charles, big shouts out to my man Tony Royster out there in Lake Charles, Louisiana. He called me and said, "Bo, man, we guys could you really don't know how bad it is because you're not here. But I've been there, so I know how bad it is, and I know they need the help. I mean, little thing, ladies and gentlemen, like water. You just don't know at this precious time how important water is. So if you can go to your local Costco, your local Walmart, and get a case of water, and just find some to give it to the Red Cross, and let them get water to these people. That is very important. Water is one of the biggest things. And this time of year, ice. You got a lot of old people overheating. You got a lot of young kids overheating. Ice is very important. So you just don't know what all you can do right now until you get out there and try to do it. And I'm going to tell you something, you don't know till you try. And every little bit helps when you go through something like this. If you've never been through a situation like this, trust me, you don't want to. If you out there, you've been in New York and Chicago, you've been in blizzards, you know what I'm talking about. Same thing as with this flood and this hurricane. So help out the people, man. All right? And I know I'm a comic. I do a lot of joking, but it's true that a lot of people are going to take advantage of the situation. I'm serious. The money thing. And churches giving money. Churches giving money. Going people go down there swearing death. They dying. They starving. And they're going to go from one church to the other church to the other church. And they're going to come up. Trust me. They're going to come up big time. And so, you made it to the hood. In the house, my special guest, and I'm waiting on your special guest. I'm waiting on special guest and special guest. He's got lost too.
Well, the address you gave us is wrong.
Oh, is it? Where it's in the front?
No, you give me 899. It's down the street about a quarter mile.
I done sent you to the dope house, the trap house. I sent you to the wrong one.
Yeah, that's all right.
I sent you to the trap house, Chris. I'm sorry. But yeah, whenever you get ready, Chris, come on around. But yeah, my special guest is in the house tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, if you out there in the comedy world, this man probably affected your career somehow. If you never, either one. If you in the comedy business, this gentleman right here has probably affected your life in some way and somehow, in some shape, form, or fashion. If you in the urban comedy, you in the comedy, he's probably been there in your career. And ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Miss Chris Dipetta is in the house.
Hello, Bo, what's up?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Okay, is it on?
I don't know. You tell me.
Oh, you on.
I'm good.
Yes, Chris Dipetta's in the house. Chris Dipetta, I am so happy to have you here.
I'm surprised I made it.
I'm surprised you made it too. Look, last week, Chris was worried about his car getting stolen in the parking lot.
Yeah.
DC talking about he born and raised in the hood, but he's scared to come down here.
Yeah.
But this is the hood. This is what we do at Chris. But
There's hoods and there's hoods.
There's hoods and there's hoods. And I know you've been in hoods before.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, the owner of the Punchline, one of the owners of the Punchline, Mr. Chris Dipetta, is in the house. And I wanted him to come this week because I wanted to talk comedy. And I got my man George Wallace. I'm gonna sign one out. One sec.
Okay.
Yeah. Test. Oh, my man George Wallace is coming through in a second, and so I wanted Chris to be here to talk with George. But Chris, just tell people some of your history when it comes to the comedy business.
Okay, long time ago. I started the Punchline in 1982 in Atlanta, in Sandy Springs, Georgia. And from there, I started managing comedians, strangely enough.
Right. And,
I've had a long list of guys. Some of them you might know pretty well,
right,
from what I understand. Right. One of them, let's see, I started with Jeff Foxworthy. He was my first guy I ever managed.
Right.
And he did okay for himself. And then the second one was Steve Harvey.
Ain't that amazing?
Yeah, and he's done pretty well.
I don't think he's doing too good. He's still in the business?
No, it's like, I heard he hit Texas last week.
Right, yeah.
But anyway, Steve and I worked together for about 7 years. and you know, got him in Me and the Boys on ABC and his HBO specials, starting that, and a variety of others. Then, you know, from there, I managed J. Anthony Brown actually before Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was an interesting trip.
Now, J. Anthony was the first black comedian, the first comedian, period, to perform at the Punchline.
Yeah, he was.
First night.
Yep.
J.
First
Anthony
one on
Brown
stage. Yes, he was.
The first comic to perform at the Punchline.
So, you know, it was, and Jay's been a good friend of mine for years. I mean, I've managed Jay 3 times in the past 35 years.
Wow.
Yeah. But then at the end of the day, nobody can manage Jay Anthony Brown.
Right.
Okay. That's it.
You don't want to push the hot sauce.
No. You know.
But let me ask you this now. Comedy still as fun to be a part of today as it was then, or is it too much politics, social media?
Well, you know, it's gotten to be corporate, man. There's a lot of corporate. You know, there's a lot of things that, you know, you're dealing with. You know, the guy who was running the clubs now, he used to run a Fridays.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's how he learned how to, you know, the business.
Right.
He was in a restaurant before he got into a club. Most of the guys I started with, you know, we started clubs all across the country.
Right.
You know, I helped guys, you know, white and black clubs, you know, across the country.
Yeah, we talked about that. I didn't know that. We talked about that. Yeah, later.
I mean, I started, you know, I started in Atlanta. We did Uptown. I mean, it was me, Earthquake, and Gary Abdo.
Right.
You know, we started Uptown here in Atlanta, and then I helped the guys in Chicago, and all jokes aside, with Steve and, you know, Bernie Mac, you know, up there. So we did, you know, a lot of work with those guys, you know, helping them out. And it was my first experience, really, with the Urban Club. Right. You know, all jokes. And it was a really different experience for me, man, because I hadn't really been there before.
We started late.
Yeah. And it was totally different.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it would be like, you know, it really is tough to describe, really, because for me it was kind of like, you know, if you went to a Catholic church, it was serene and everybody sat down and the priest did his thing. Yeah. You know, and you go to a Baptist church, it's a whole different thing.
Right.
You know, so was the comedy club.
You got the music, you know, because white comedy clubs most of the time they didn't play any music.
Not at all.
Black comedy clubs, you got to have a DJ.
Yeah.
You got to have something to get.
You got to be ready to go. Yeah. And you know, it was, you know, I had never been around people running up and down aisles laughing. You know, so it was like, for me, it was like, oh yeah, this is real different. You know, it really was. But you know, it was very cool. You know, I really enjoyed it. I got into it, and you know, we did it for a long time. And you know, the thing is, I've been fortunately, being in this business, I've been able to be everywhere and do a lot of different things. Right. You know, because I used to go to the Apollo all the time when Steve was hosting the Apollo. Right. So I was there, you know, every time we tape, about once a month we'd tape at the Apollo, and we'd do like 12 shows in 3 days. Wow. You know, so we'd be there from morning till night, you know, all day long. And, you know, one day I said, you know what, I'm going to sit in the audience instead of sitting backstage with everybody else. And they kept going, are you sure? I said, yeah, I'm sure. I want to sit in the audience. So, you know, they kept asking me, and like I wanted to get right in the middle, so you know, to get the feel of what the Apollo is like when people are, you know, cranked up. Yeah. So I sat back, you know, about 10, 12 rows back, and you know, the guy who was one of the owners kept coming up to me and said, hey man, do you want to sit, you know, you can sit up front if you want to sit up front. I go, no, I really don't want to sit up front. And I had 2 girls sit next to me, you know, and they kept looking at me. Why is this? First of all, why is this white boy in this audience? Number one, but why is you know, why do they keep coming at me, asking if he wants to sit up front? And finally, you know, they were together, and they asked me about 3 times. Finally, the one girl says, yes, he wants to sit up front, and his daughters want to sit with him. I said, oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. So it was good. It was.
You got the hookup.
Yeah, exactly. So we had fun, but I got right into it, man. You know, I'm yelling, tossing people out. That was good. That was a good time.
Yeah, but that's good, man, because, you know, that was what we called the chitlin circuit back then. And the chitlin circuit, you know, people don't know that the black comedy show started after the white shows. Yeah. And but that's the only time our people would come out.
Right.
They wouldn't come out till 12 o'clock at night. Then we staying in at 4 in the morning, you know, doing shows.
Well, stuff. You know, Uptown, you know, our hours at Uptown were like the 12 o'clock midnight show started at 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
Yeah,
right,
exactly. Yeah. And went on till about 4.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
The license was only good till 3, but nobody cared. You know, no one would come up.
So when you looking at talent, what do you look for in talent to see that? Because you call some big names who made it. all the way from comedy to the big stage.
Oh yeah,
and the small stage. So.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, it's like it's all the same, man. You're looking for somebody who's different,
right,
but is relatable and just funny. Somebody who's original, man.
Right.
You got to be original.
Right.
There's too many guys now there's too many guys doing too many guys. There are.
He said it, I did.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, somebody says, "Hey, this guy's playing here," and I go, "I've already seen him."
Right.
I saw him last week. The real guy.
The real guy. Yeah. That got to be. It is. It's always been the case, though.
Oh man!
And what the comics say, the first one to TV. It's the Roy was the first one to TV.
Well, yeah, I mean that's usually how it worked, but there's some original cats out there.
But there's been some backroom brawls over these jokes. People don't know that.
Yeah, I'm sure there has
been
been.
Throw-out fights over these jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I just gotta be the devil's advocate. The white clubs are taking over the urban comedy scene.
Well, I'll tell you what white clubs are. Like the improvs and stuff like that. They have.
Right.
Well, what they found out is, it's like black people will support comedy.
Right.
White people can give a damn. They don't care. It's like they really don't care. I mean, they're really. It's tough to get a white audience out, and there probably aren't 15 guys white guys that draw.
Really?
I'm serious on the whole country, and we're all sharing them. All the clubs are sharing those guys. And in the black clubs, different story.
Right.
Different story. A lot of guys come out. You get a lot of support from different people, and it's refreshing to see. But at the same time, it gets to be a little tough too.
Right, for each market, because then the so-called comics with a name, they want to do the big news.
Without question.
Yeah, they don't want to do the 9 shows at a club no more. They want to come to town and do one show, make the same money and run.
Yeah.
Instead of sticking in town 5 to 6 days. But like D.C. Curry said last week, he was in here.
Right.
He was saying that the most fun comedy is the small clubs.
Yeah.
It's the more intimate crowds.
It's way more fun than a small crowd.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
It's an ego trip when guys are playing, Madison Square Garden for 20,000 people.
Right.
It has nothing to do with real comedy.
Right.
You're doing it because you can, number one, and just people, you have that following.
Yeah.
But as far as the quality of comedy, come on, man.
Right.
It's like what
It's
you're doing
terrible.
is watching a TV screen more than anything else,
Because when you do it as a comic, you say it, and it takes it 3 seconds to get back most of the time.
Yeah,
and you really just going through the routine. You're not really feeling the comedy.
You know what's the stupidest one though?
Yeah.
Really and truly is Jeff Dunham. People that go see the puppet work.
Right. Right, yeah.
You're sitting there. There's 15,000 people in the audience. You're in the 80th row.
Right.
And you don't know if his lips are moving or not. Okay.
Right.
Only way you can tell is if you're looking on a big screen. Oh, okay, his lips aren't moving.
You just go the high
You wouldn't know anyway.
Right. But man, so now the Punchline in Atlanta, you moved from Sandy Springs.
Yeah, it broke my heart.
I know. You were there 35 years.
Yeah, broke my heart.
Yeah.
But Sandy Springs is revitalizing. They're changing. That Roswell Road doesn't even look like the same place anymore.
It's like a tourist attraction.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Now, how the move to the new spot? How's it working out for you guys?
It's been okay. One of the few places that we got 200 parking spaces for free in Buckhead, which nobody has.
Right.
Nobody has that kind of parking.
And you got great diner food. You got great food.
And Tommy takes care of everything. Over at the diner. So it's been working out okay. It's a more intimate crowd. It's only 200 seats in there, and so we kind of have to limit ourselves on the acts that we can bring in.
Right.
But we just signed Roy Jones Jr. to come out.
Okay.
He's coming out. And
Roy Jones, the boxer?
No, Roy Jones, the comic.
Oh, Roy from TV.
Roy Woods. I'm sorry, Roy Wood Jr. Not Roy Woods. Yeah, Roy Jones. Yeah. Speaking of Roy, I met him. Okay?
You met Roy?
Yeah, I met him about in the prime of his boxing career.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, I touched his shoulder and it's like touching the granite on this.
He was that fit.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
I never seen anybody like
now,
him.
boxing is one of those hustles. You want to go fit. You don't want to do one of them. I'm taking off a few days, go show up, fight.
Yeah, well, I think that Conor McGregor found that out the other night.
Yeah.
You got to be in shape.
You got to be in shape to go 12 rounds of boxing. And you know what? The fight wasn't a terrible fight.
Yeah.
It was a, it's kind of like Floyd, when you look at Floyd's perspective, he fighting a bigger guy. Took him a few minutes to figure out can he take the can he take the punches? I'm gonna get past this jab to keep putting him in face. Then he doing the hammer beating on the back of his head, the hammer blow on the back of his head. That had to confuse him a lot. But once Floyd figured things out, he really started boxing.
Yeah, right.
It was over then. We could see who the real boxer was.
Exactly. You know, I went to a boxing ring about 2 weeks ago with my son. I was in L.A.
Yeah.
And he works out. He works on a boxing ring. And what they do is they keep them moving. They do 3 minutes workout, and then they rest for 30 seconds.
Right.
And they go to different stations. They work different ways, right?
Yeah.
So his son goes, you do it. Come with me. I said, okay. Yeah, I did 9 minutes, okay?
Right.
And I thought I was going to die.
Right.
Okay? I don't know how those guys do that.
I don't know. I'm gonna tell you, I got respect. The first time I played golf was last year in Chris Tucker's celebrity golf game.
Oh, okay.
And I've never played golf on a golf course. I've hit on the little putt thing. But the walking, oh
yeah.
my God, I had more respect for old white men after that, Chris. I ain't gonna lie to you.
No, well, I use carts, man. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that walking 18 holes, oh my God, that's a Bagger Vance was a better man than me.
Yeah.
Bagger Vance, he is a better man
Yeah,
than
well,
me.
that's
That
true.
was a lot of walking. I respected white.
Yeah,
old
plus, he
white
was
men
carrying the
that
bag,
way.
too, don't
Carrying the bag. I was like, oh no, this never. I can't play. I can't enjoy this game. There's too much walking, man. But it was exercise. This really.
Oh, no, it's
a
very good
workout.
exercise.
Yeah.
That's why the old white guys live to be 99.
Oh, Chris. For the fight night, I had a show in Calhoun, Georgia.
I'm sorry.
All white crowd, and they was there to see comedy show, and then they was gonna have the fight after
okay.
that. And so, they didn't want to hear nothing. They was just rooting and hollering. Wait, get on stage, waiting on the fight. The game was on too. I forgot about that.
Oh.
The Falcon game was on. So when they cut the game off to hear the comedy show, that was a no-no.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was gonna get burned. I was scared. I was like, oh no, you can't put me up there now like this. They gonna listen? I said, no, they're not. And so I went and did the show. After the show, a white guy came up to me and said, you seem to be a cool dude. Got a joke for you. You don't mind? I ain't no racism, nothing like that. I just got a good joke. I think you like it. I said, man, I done talked about white folks tonight too, so let's hear it. We can, if we ain't no prejudice. He said, what do Nike and the police have in common? I said, I don't know. He said, they both make you niggas run fast.
Yeah,
And
that's
then he
perfect.
told me, he said, and I got a Confederate flag in the car too.
Yeah.
I said,
No, I'm surprised they didn't have him waving outside the gig that you were at.
I had to laugh at it though. I asked for that one. Yeah. But Chris, man, I don't know what George is at, man. He said he was helping Linnell. He said he had to go help Linnell. Linnell, actress, she's in town working on something.
Right.
So he had to go help her work out some stuff.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. You can talk to me.
Yeah, I don't mind talking to you.
I feel you.
I got my friend Boomerang. She's a comedian. She's coming in at 9 o'clock.
How you doing?
And these
Hey,
young ladies-
that's Steve Harvey's bodyguard.
Bodyguard, Boomerang.
Yeah,
for
Boomerang.
years. Big old dude.
That is a
Yeah.
huge human being.
He wrote a book, and went on for his own.
Did he really?
Yeah, he wrote a book.
What was the book about? I didn't think he could.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure he could read. Okay, let alone write a book.
He just thought he was a cowboy boot wearing bruiser.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Now Boomerang was about 6'8", ladies and gentlemen. He was Steve Harvey bodyguard for years. He's about 6'8", 6'9", wore a cowboy hat, cowboy boots, big brother, coolest brother you ever met. But he was all about business. But so now you also manage artists, you manage
Oh
comedians.
yeah, I still do. I can.
You produce shows.
I mean, I do everything I can to make $1. Okay. I managed a guy named Billy Gardell who had a show called Mike and Molly on CBS for about 6 years.
Right.
And that was a great show. I mean, I don't know if anybody's seen it, but it was
I
a
love it. I
great
still
show.
watch the reruns now.
Yeah, it was a great show. I mean, it was funny because we had a show on the air that was a totally integrated cast, and nobody mentioned it at all the whole time it was on.
Right.
I mean, nobody said a word about it.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, oh, everybody's
His best
just
friend
funny.
was a black guy.
Right. I mean, it was just funny, and his grandmother was in there.
Yeah, and the guy working the restaurant was a black
Right.
guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Dialect. Yeah, I don't
And
know
you know,
where he was
but
from.
nobody even said a word about it, and
Yeah.
no one cared.
Yeah, right.
It was like,
Yeah.
okay, these guys are just funny. So
And it was about a loving and adorable couple.
yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean? They loved themselves in a quirky type of way, but they was made for
Right.
each other. Yeah, and it worked out.
Yeah,
Good.
no, it was. I mean, it was. I loved the show personally, and Yeah, great. Melissa McCarthy was terrific on the show. She was great. I mean, she really.
She's funny.
She was a nice person too. On
Yeah.
top of everything else, she was a sweetheart.
Yeah. So let me ask you something. What do you think some of the pitfalls of comedy been over the years now that's holding it back?
Well, I don't know. I mean, first of all, if you want a relationship, being a comedian isn't the place to be.
Nah.
You know, dang it. No, it really isn't. You know, I mean, you just can't. I mean, there's more divorces for comedians than anywhere else. It must be 90%.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's okay if you're rich. You know, you can get away with it if you're. You know, after you make your money, then
Right.
you can get. You know, but
You
you know, I
settle
mean,
down.
you can get a list of guys who have multiple ex-wives.
That's crazy you said that because I'm on the road doing a show in Denver. Kid ran up to me and said, "You know my daddy?" I'm like, "Oh God." Oh God.
How old are you? And
What year did he come touring
exactly.
through here? Remember that Creative Comedy Zone tour?
Oh yeah.
They went from Norfolk all the way down to Miami. There's a whole lot of illegitimate kids on that tour. I promise you that.
Yeah, I pity the girls that fell for comedians.
Yeah. But no, we're good guys. We're good men. Comedians, everybody like a good funny man around for
After 45.
Yeah. For at least 5 days. You know what I mean? After 5 days, you go on to the next one. But man, yeah. But that's good, man. So now, working in the movie industry, you rather be in that, or you still like the comedy?
Here's the thing. I never left the comedy clubs. Even when I was in L.A. and doing all that stuff, I always kept my fingers on the pulse of comedy clubs to see what's going on. Just because, it's important because you got to see who's coming up talent-wise.
Right.
Who's coming up to the ranks. I was fortunate enough to work with just about everybody. I mean, Kevin Hart worked for us at the Punchline. Before he was. Before he jumped out, he was just about there. I mean, he'd already did a movie or two, but they hadn't really caught on yet.
Right.
But nobody could be nicer than him. He was great. I mean, I had so much fun with him. It was, the staff loved him. Everybody loved him. It's tough. It's hard not to.
Anybody that mention your name to in the business, Chris Dipetta, they've never said. I've never heard one bad thing somebody say about.
Have you talked to Steve?
Steve is rich. He just say good
Yeah,
things about
he said
everybody.
no. He actually, I hadn't seen him. He did something at the Punchline about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I'd seen him in about 10 years.
Yeah.
And it was an interesting,
Yeah, I was there that night when nephew Tommy came through. Yeah.
So it was but it was all right. We had a run in. It was a tough. We split up. It was really tough.
Right. You still work with Jeff Foxworthy? He got bigger than you now?
No. Jeff and I split years ago. Right after we sold "You Might Be a Redneck," and the album that did $5 million. Right after that, we parted company.
Right.
And I always hated that too, because it always seems like I lose acts right after they get famous.
Right.
It's that first million, and then I'm gone.
Right. It's like
piss me off.
Like you was a ride to the million. And after that,
exactly.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah.
I helped, but made a lot of guys rich.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are rich.
Yeah. But isn't that a good feeling though, to know that you was part of that, to be in it somehow? But
I'm sure when I'm dead, people will say, he really almost started this thing.
Who wasn't Chris?
Well, for Chris, I wouldn't be here right now. Right.
Yeah. We got a caller coming through. Caller. Hello, caller. Hung up already?
I tried to call you. You didn't answer mine either.
I know they called it through the system. You were calling through when I was on live. That's why you heard me talking to you live on the air. But I'm talking to my good friend, Mr. Chris Dipetta. Now you open up another comedy spot, and you got 2 more coming up in Atlanta.
Yeah. Hope if everything works out. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
They're taking an awful long time.
Yeah. And one of them is my fault. I'm behind on what I'm doing.
True. Well, what else is new?
Yeah.
Yes. Bo didn't make it today. Really?
Right.
What's he doing? Fishing.
With DC. Yeah. But now working behind the scenes. Do you get some of those credits on stuff? Is that
my credit.
Is that how you keep in the business?
My credit is those checks that I get on commission sometimes.
Right.
That's really pretty much the credit. As a manager, you better be satisfied with that, because very seldom do you get a pat on the back.
Oh, really?
Nah, not really. It's like, I mean, it depends on the guys you're dealing with.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it's like, just be satisfied that you're getting big money.
So you're not one of those,
or some money.
Not one of those managers getting off the top before they get to the arm.
No, man, I don't do that. You know what?
Yeah.
That's one thing I never did. A lot of guys you get in trouble that way
Yeah.
because a lot of managers would handle people's money.
Yeah.
It's too tempting, man. It's like you get money coming in, and you're trying to handle somebody else's money. You don't want to do that. It's like, hey, you're over 21, man.
Yeah.
You should be able to handle your own cash.
Yeah.
Okay, just give me my percentage.
Right.
Okay, that's all I'm looking for.
I don't understand how the artists and ball players go broke, but the business account never go broke.
No. He said, I made some bad investments for you.
Yeah.
Well, I took my 10% first, but
Right.
the rest of your money was
I
really
tell you,
bad.
put my money where you put your money.
Yeah.
Is what I tell you.
Yeah.
Put mine where you put yours. Because every
Right.
ball player I know has gone broke, but the business attorney got 20 people like him. And all of
Absolutely.
them are broke, but he's not broke.
Right. Well,
I'm like, how does that work?
they're the smart ones. They're handling the money.
Yeah. Why you put my money in a tax shelter? Your money not in a tax
I always
shelter.
put it this way: if you count the money first,
Yeah.
you'll never go broke.
Right.
You know?
There you go. Yeah. That's the way to do it. I tell
If you get first count on anything,
Exactly.
you get
I
first
don't-
count on the door, chances are you're going to be all right.
Right. I don't need no account. Give me a debit card.
Yeah.
That way I know what I put in, what I take out. That's it. To keep it moving. But now the business. I don't have breaks on this show, Chris.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine.
We go.
I'll just drink water and talk
There
at the
we
same
go.
time.
We just talk and walk and talk. But so what do you see now? The future of with the social media, is that influencing the draw at the clubs?
You think? I mean, it's incredible how much it's affected it. We have guys now, at the club, and all clubs now. It's just a white, black. It don't matter. There are guys that are just YouTube sensations, we call them. Guys who managed to put together a video that's 4 minutes long, that was incredibly funny, something that they did or something stupid that happened.
Right.
And then they'd go out and 2 million, 3 million people saw it on YouTube. And you can go to a club and say, hey, I can fill the room.
Right.
They can make a nice chunk of change one time through.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of guys that can go through it and that one time, because then once people see them, they're going like, oh. No. But, it's funny enough, a lot of people really were happy to see these people. And,
Yeah.
they didn't care.
Right.
As someone who knows comedy and for a long time, I'd watch and just shake my head and go, wow. This is bad.
Is he gonna make his time on stage?
Yeah, but these people were happy to see it, and I was like, oh, boy, I'm just, sometimes I'm losing my perspective sometimes.
Right. You look at that. I got to make money as a club owner.
Right.
And at the same time, you got to bring good talent through. And who am I to say this guy's not great talent?
Right.
Fill
I
up the
mean,
seats.
you try and bring the best talent you can through all the time, but it's, sometimes it's funny because a lot of times there's some great guys that don't draw anybody.
Nobody.
They just have a great show.
Yeah.
And people don't come out.
Right.
I mean, they just won't come out because they don't know them. So that's
Right.
that's the trick right there. But I mean, as far as social media is concerned, you got to be involved.
Right.
You do. You got a Twitter, you tweet, Instagram, whatever you do. Facebook.
I still do mail to people's houses. I still do that the same old way.
Right.
Mail a letter to people.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. I've seen the one guy. This one, a country mama, I think his name was. A Southern country mama. Okay, I
He's a
saw
guy?
this guy as a guy. Yeah. And he, I won't say how his act is, but anyway, I was watching. His manager showed me. He goes, look, he counts his money from the hits he makes on YouTube.
Right.
And he makes about $20,000 a month from
Wow.
from YouTube, from
Yeah.
people on YouTube, because people advertise because you get that many hits on
Yeah.
YouTube,
Yeah.
and they advertise with you. So that's how you see a lot of these guys making a lot of money, and you're
Right.
like, damn, why didn't I think of that? Really.
Right. Then you got to bring Country Mama down because you got to follow him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he does.
Yes. Wow, I gotta get more. I gotta get my social media up. I've been on there naked a few times. I got cut off. Yeah. Every time I try that, they cut me off. But Chris, what do you suggest to a new comic coming up in the business right now? I remember when I first started.
Go back to school.
Right. I remember when I first started out. You couldn't even get on. You couldn't. If you get on there like the list open mic.
Yeah.
You couldn't get in the club.
And now you got cats that show up and just go on because.
Well, and plus there's a lot of different things all over town. People, are, commerce are going up.
Yeah.
The thing is that here's what we do. I mean, we have our showcase night on Sunday nights,
Right.
okay? But the rest of the time, anybody who's on stage in the club is getting paid,
Right.
okay? I use professional guys, professional comedians. However, there's a bunch of people in town that will work on stage and call themselves comedians
Right.
and work for free
Right.
all the time.
All the time.
I mean, they're comedians. They have day jobs, but they work, they work for free.
Yeah.
And, showcase nights, you can get on almost anywhere. 'Cause,
Right.
I mean, almost every bar now at least has a comedy
Has a
night
comedy
going
night.
on.
And it's for free.
Yeah, it's for free. Well, the comics work for free.
The comics
Sometimes,
you get in for free.
well, sometimes
Then
they
when you want to go
charge.
pay for a good act, they don't want to spend the
Yeah.
money for a good act because they seen them all around town.
Right, and
for
which
free.
is bad. It's bad for us because,
Yeah.
when people go see free comedy and see people that are just mediocre all
Right.
the time,
Yeah.
they just say, okay, they kind of lump you guys together and say, hey,
This
is.
way it's all.
I saw a comic once live. He was terrible, so
Right.
I'm not going to pay to go see somebody.
Right.
And that just it's
I
not
try
fair.
I try to tell young cats that in the club promoters, so-called promoters, man. We need to have a class for promoters. That's what we really need. How to promote. That need to be just a weekend forum in Atlanta. Is all you people over the country think you're a promoter. Come to Atlanta, sit down with some real promoters and learn how to do the business. Because that's what's hurting the business. You got cats who, like you say, who don't know comedy, who putting on shows, and then the people are coming in not enjoying it, so they don't come back anymore.
Well, back in the day, so what the promoters were.
What?
The especially black people, they were all drug dealers.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like they had a great way to wash money. I mean, Bernie Mac made his career from those guys.
Yeah.
He'd travel all over the country. Yeah.
Me and TK Kirkland, we worked for nothing but drug. Every show was drug dealers.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wanted to be a promoter, so the guys said they all had cash.
Right.
So okay, come on, you want to do it? Rent the building and pay us, and we'll be more than happy to. Can I tell you a funny story?
Go ahead.
This is, I swear to God, a true story.
Yeah.
I booked Jay Anthony and Steve in Joliet, Illinois.
Right.
Okay, at this gig, a kid was a black promoter. Okay, now I forget, it wasn't a lot of money they were making, but we're supposed still getting paid, a couple thousand, I think a piece. Steve was probably making $5 at that, but not a whole lot of money.
Right.
So, before the show, the guy said, "Well, we didn't sell that many tickets." I said, "Well, you still got to pay these guys, and they're not going on until they get
The money.
on the stage, until they get on stage." And he goes, "Well, I don't have the money." I said, "Well, you better go get it." Okay, so he hired a limo for Steve to come over, to drive from Chicago.
Right.
So I said, well, let's get in that limo and figure out how you're going to get the money. So we went into whatever the ghetto is in Joliet, Illinois, and he went and banged on doors to different people and managed to get all the money together. Right. So he got, I think it was, he was 2,000 short.
Yeah.
Okay, and I owed Jay 1,000, and Steve had to get the rest of his money. He did 1,000. So we all $100 bills. He got it. All right. Everybody gets paid. We do the show. Steve went on a cruise with his at that point time fiance.
Yeah.
Okay. And Jay went back to L.A. Okay. Well, Steve on a cruise, he gambled on the cruise. Okay.
Right.
And the money he had, he just lost. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. And Jay Anthony went back and just spent the money he had. Well, except for the last 100, he said, "I'm gonna put that in the bank for some." I don't know what he did with the rest of the money. So he goes to the bank and he goes to put the money in the bank, and the teller stops him and she calls the manager over. And she goes, "Hey, this is a counterfeit. This is counterfeit money." I said, "That promoter gave me $2,000 in counterfeit money."
Yeah.
Steve lost it all in gambling on the boat. He lost 1,000 on the boat, and he said, "Yeah, one of the guys did say that money looked funny, but they're in the middle of the Caribbean, so no one put in, no one cared." But Jay Anthony called me up and he goes, "Hey man, that was a counterfeit bill. I lost $100." I said, "Well, you're out the 100 because I ain't going back and chasing it, this guy around." But that was just part of the game, man.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of stories like that. There's things that happen like that all the time.
I was living in L.A. I got a call to do a show in Rome, Georgia. I didn't know where Rome, Georgia was.
Right.
So the guy, he called the Temptations. I had worked with them. So he done called them and found out how to get in touch with me. So one of the Temptations' daughters said, "Okay, just do it through me. I'll handle all the legwork." So we get down to a little young drug, 18 years old, right? He sent a limo from Rome, from Atlanta, to take us to Rome. And we got to there, he didn't know to book the venue ahead of time. He's gonna book the venue that night. He goes to the venue with the money in his hand, trying, hey, I want to rent the venue out tonight, put on the show. They like, we booked up already, so it was a small venue. So
right.
he got money. He said, what else will open tonight? They said, nothing but the Civic Center. Civic Center wanted triple what we wanted. He said, no problem. I want to open up, put the show on. I got comics here. We like, what's going on? And so we said, we didn't see no flyers, we heard no radio or nothing. So we like, did you advertise? He said, yeah, I got a barber shop. I own a barber shop, beauty salon,
yeah, right.
and everything. So I told all them to come. How many work in the barber shop? Oh, I got about 5 of each one. I said, that's all you told? Oh, well, I told my family too. I said, your family too? You didn't promote the show? He ain't promoted the show. He thought he'd tell people in the barber shop, they would tell everybody. He just wanted to put on, he had money. He wanted to bring Bo Peep to town, show people he put on the show. Okay. We get to the show, it's a 1,600 seat venue. We got 30 people in there.
Yeah.
Less than 30. His mama, his auntie, his family, and the barbershop people. We leave, after the show now, we go to the after party.
It's an after party?
Got 5,000 people. They didn't know about the show. He promoted the after party at the club and didn't tell them who was coming to the show. So we get to the show, they said, y'all want to perform here? We said, oh no, we done got paid already. They said, yeah, y'all can perform here then. So no, that's just one of those drug brothers who put on the show.
Right.
Hey, come on in, DeJour. Have a seat. That's my actor coming on the show tonight.
All right.
Yeah. He's coming to tell the story of how you can be in Atlanta and make it to Hollywood.
Okay.
Without going.
All right, y'all want to listen to that.
Yeah. DeJour. I'm bringing you on too. DeJour, come on in, brother. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, in the house with us now is Mr. DeJour Atwood.
On set.
I'm a very fine actor, entrepreneur, the whole nine. Got his own. You'll tell him about that.
Yeah.
But he's also on the new CBS television series Valor. If you've been watching that, he's on he's on the cast on there now. And so it's funny how we met. We met on Facebook.
Yeah.
I just happened to see the brother. He's from Atlanta. He was doing things. We connected, and I said, "Well, come on the show.
Appreciate
talk
that.
about your experience." This is Mr. Chris Dipetta.
What's going on? How you
How you
feeling?
doing?
The owner, one of the owners of the Punchline Comedy Club.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
I've been
and
there.
manager of Billy Cordale.
Nice.
And so you're sitting in around royalty tonight.
Pleasure. It's a pleasure.
So
Happy
tell
to be
people
here.
something about yourself.
Yeah. DeJour Ashwood. I'm an actor, originally from Harlem, New York. And pretty much what I do is, if anybody that knows me, I grind, I go hard. I don't wait for a door to be open. I create my own material. And I was blessed recently to, cast as a recurrent role on this wonderful show on CBS called Valor. The trailer's out on IMDb. So, yeah, check it
So
out.
now, how did you get from New York to Atlanta? At what age was that?
So I was down here for about, I finished school up in Buffalo, New York. And then I traveled down here, came down here in about 2009. Yeah, somewhere around there, a little before that.
To pursue acting or to do something else?
Just to be in a different environment.
Oh, okay.
And then I got bit with the acting
Get
bug.
warm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I got bit with the acting bug. So yeah.
Oh, really? How did that happen?
I went to an improv class, and just to get loose. And then after that, from that point on, I wanted to do commercials and find out. Like I started talking to a lot of other established actors, and it was like, yo, this is what you need to do.
Right.
Get in the game. Yeah.
Is it hard to make it in the industry we were just talking about?
Yeah.
I was telling him how you did from Atlanta to Hollywood.
Right.
Did you have to go back and forth to Hollywood? Or are you able to do most of your casting down here?
You know what? As the saying goes, it ain't where you from, it's where you at. So if the grind is in you, you're gonna be able to do great things wherever you are. However, LA, there is a bigger, a piece of the pie. The larger roles come out of LA. So I go out to LA and New York often for training. The best training.
Oh,
there.
really?
Yeah.
So
best training.
what's Atlanta then? We just a little.
No. Atlanta got some good things too, but at the end of the day, I gotta be honest.
You got to be there. You
gotta be there. You gotta be. In fact,
I know.
That's where the casting's at.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Casting's in New York and
Yeah,
LA,
but
and that's all.
If you hear about the casting in LA, you too late already. They already to the
absolutely.
zero casting, not the main casting. So that's the thing about it. If you're not out there, and they call you today to be at a casting tomorrow. You got to fly from Atlanta
Right.
You get there, you pretty much done missed the starring roles.
Right. Are they
Facts.
taping Valor here? Where are they doing it?
Yeah, they are. They
Oh,
are.
it's here?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's at a secret location. I can't,
Oh, well, don't worry about it.
It's a secret location.
They got a lot. They have lots of
Yeah.
secret
Yeah,
locations.
yeah,
so-
lots of secret- yeah,
They got
yeah.
lots of secret locations.
That's how the Valley started in L.A. They was filming stuff in the Valley
Right.
that they wouldn't that people knew, and that was called porn. It's secret.
I don't know anything
I
about
love
it.
it.
But yeah,
I
I've
know
heard.
you don't.
Yeah.
Not with all your artists. I know you ain't never
Haven't
heard,
heard
none of
anything about that.
I had a friend of mine. He was a comedian, and I didn't know he was hooked on porn. So he moved in. He had 6 bags with him, duffel bags. I'm thinking he got a lot of clothes. 5 of them were full of porn.
Hey, you
And,
gotta-
and at the time, my girlfriend happened to find out because she had to go down there to clean up and do something, get something. And she's like, you know, he had bags full of porn. Like, porn?
Hey,
Yeah, he had bags full of porn.
can't live without the porn.
I was like, whoa, what is going on? I didn't know I had a freaking high like that. I had to put him out. I said, you can't be around my girl with all that porn.
No.
You're having too many fantasies. Yeah, so,
I love it. I love it. I love it.
so now you got a training group,
Yeah.
acting troupe that you work with, right?
Yeah,
Tell
yeah.
me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think every actor, when you want to keep your skills sharp, you should be doing something. If not, you're in class, you're training. So about 3 years ago, I had created this group, this acting group. Shout out to my acting group. It's called Actors Addicted to Auditioning. And basically what we do every week is we do simulations of basically auditions. Because if you're down here in Atlanta, 90% of your auditions are going to be self-tape.
Yeah.
Where you send it in, you know that. And so why not master that craft? And so when I went out to LA about 4 years ago, they kind of put the bug in me that, you need to always be creating material, you need to always be doing something. So I created this group, and it's a small group, and pretty much, it's actors that are working continuously. And we put you on camera, you're able to see yourself, and we teach you how to just be captivating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
So,
George just hit me up, said he got a movie he's going to be in it tomorrow, and he's going over the script.
He's not
He
coming.
just realized it's 9 o'clock, he can't make
That
it.
George can make it. Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's great, man. That's great. Now, so Valor, how did you go in there? You went on there for this spot you went on, or you went to play another role and they picked you for this role?
I actually auditioned for it, you know what I'm saying? So my agent put me on. She allowed me to be seen. And pretty much what happens is that you get a request to either come in or self-tape, right? And so I went in person or whatever. Shout out to the casting director, Megan Lewis. She's dope. And she always was trying to get me on a couple of her shows. I went in, killed the audition, rest in peace. I killed that joint. And then, you know what I'm saying, a week later, I found out that the role was a recurring role.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
So
so
you do
stuff.
comedy too?
I do a little. I'm an actor, but I do a little bit of comedy, but I ain't a comedian at all.
Oh,
you know.
okay.
And, you know,
Because I know we had talked about it. You do comedy.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you got to
Yeah.
check out his chops over there. We got to check him out. We got to check him out. But so now what you got coming up? What will you?
well,
I really like to know about your lifestyle.
absolutely. Well, you
I
know
mean,
what?
where you-
I'm always working.
Yeah.
I'm always creating material. So if I'm not on set, I'm on another set, and I'm always putting sketches together. I got this little run that I'm doing now where I pretty much I pay homage to a lot of comedians like Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, and I'll take a lot of films that they've done and I'll redo them. But what I always do is I do a little active spin on it. You know what I'm saying? So I always put a little acting reference in it. And if you go on my IG page, you'll see a couple of the videos that I put together. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do
Okay.
that.
Okay. George still hit me up. He still apologizing. George, don't worry about it. Stay at home. Get you some rest. You're getting old. Yeah. So Chris, I don't want to keep you all night. I know I had you for the first time. You mind sticking around?
Yeah, let's stick
Okay.
around.
Boomerang. I got a Boomerang and her guest coming in, and these are I call them the.
Don't you dare.
They call themselves the senior uncensored seniors.
Uncensored seniors too.
I love it.
Uncensored seniors.
I thought you had to be a senior to be a
I
senior.
told them I ain't think they were seniors. Oh, is there chairs over there?
I'm
Yeah,
a
you
senior.
can slide those chairs
You
up.
ain't
You
even
can slide them up.
Come on.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Yeah. Uncensored seniors. They tell me they call themselves uncensored because they cuss a lot.
Do they?
So I don't. You can screw around.
Okay, sure. Okay.
Yeah. Good.
I'll scooch over here a little. Everybody got a chair? Okay.
This is the biggest cast I had on here, I think. Yeah. So, Joy, man, I'm glad we hooked up. I'm proud of your career, what you're doing, and I was just trying to tell people that you don't have to live in Hollywood to be in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
You know, and you can do that by just, like you say, having. First of all, you got to have the talent that they're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Then you got the height. So, there's a lot of people in Hollywood. We got a face that's short.
Right.
Every role I went out on, the screen test, but you're too big. We got to have them stand on the box to shoot with you. And it was just, you got to be. It's a lot goes into making it in Hollywood other than just talent.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
if I don't have another co-star my height, it's hard for me, especially if I'm the bad guy. You know, the good guy is supposed to be muscular and be fit, but he's this tall. You know, they won't let me be the bad guy because you're too big. But
Shoot you, put him on an apple box.
You're an easy target.
Yeah.
Very easy
Yeah.
target.
yeah, I'm
Wait a minute,
I'm setting y'all up so y'all can can be heard.
Oh, well, that's what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
you got one. You got the
You got
diamonds on
one more over
yours.
there, too.
You got one.
Everybody gets their own? Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own now.
I thought we was going to share.
I know we're in the hood.
I was in the sharing.
I know we're in the hood, but we got a top notch studio here. This studio won #1 studio in Atlanta.
All right.
Yeah,
My
they-
own
Yeah,
money.
studio in Atlanta. They got the trophy right there. There it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mikey Mike.
Yeah. So
You
yeah.
can-
So now
Thank you.
Boomerang in the house.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Nice to
You
meet
can
you.
introduce your.
Yes, I am comedian Boomerang. This is Julie, and this is Queen. Hi. We also have another co-host that isn't here tonight, Avis. But we are Uncensored Seniors and the comedian.
I love it.
Oh, okay. And now what is this? What is the whole concept of this show about? Uncensored.
And I'm going to give it.
I am that joyful jubilant Jalewa. So we came up with the concept of having, we're like Hollywood Squares. So we're on YouTube, Uncensored Seniors and the Comedian. We talk about topics that most people wouldn't think seniors talk about. We talk about sex, we talk about men, we talk about life, we keep it real. And you know, we're not your traditional seniors. Most people think you need to be sitting down. And we're just keep it
Don't look at
going.
me while I'm sitting down. Shoot, I'm trying to see.
So-
They seniors too. Don't worry. Everybody's sitting down.
So you're saying y'all see to talk more about things other than church.
Absolutely.
Well, then would they call
We're
her
not
the church?
But I am the church lady.
Oh.
And my spot is called the closet. So I'm the church
Yeah.
lady in the closet.
We all know a couple of those.
I'm live in the laughing lounge.
Yeah, and I'm Queen from Queen's Quarter.
Oh, okay. All right. So now do y'all talk to other people or y'all talk amongst yourselves on the show?
We talk
Amongst
amongst us. So we
ourselves.
always say have a topic. So what's on
Yeah.
your mind? And then we
Right.
kind of go over that topic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
so
it's funny.com.
it's
Oh, yes.
it's what it
It's
is.
funny.com.
Yes, very funny, very
It's very
unexpected.
funny, yeah. We come off the riff because she'll
We're
give us
also
a subject.
educating people, though.
That's true.
Okay, just want y'all to
Put
throw
it-
that out.
Yeah, I have this character. She's called Becky from the Hut, and she comes out every now and then. But I'm the butt of everybody's jokes, chill.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I'm
want to
sorry.
get Becky.
25 years celibate.
Right.
Okay,
See,
we
every
live.
joke.
Did you really? Oh my God!
She's an angry woman.
No, I'm not.
She got 7
Okay.
kids, 21 grandchildren.
And 25 years.
Hey.
Wow.
And 25
Yeah,
years.
so she was getting it
Right.
in early.
So she started to stop. You know what I'm saying? That's
So she just stopped.
Yeah.
Now, I find that hard to believe.
What?
Anyone who
sometimes
ever,
so do I.
Oh,
if
see,
you ever,
there we
you know,
go.
If you ever taste chocolate, you want chocolate again. It's like candy. In 25 years, abstain from it.
Very
I
powerful.
find it hard to believe. I find it hard to believe. Chris.
He said he likes
Chris, you find that hard
comedy.
to believe, Chris.
I'm
Look, he's lost for words. This is what our show does to people.
See, they should have shared it. Mike.
Come on up here. Come on.
I think about. I love the angle. I think it's
There
dope.
you go.
think it's dope.
appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I think that's fly. That's fly.
It is, but we have so much fun. We teach, we educate, and we just laugh. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah.
This one right here, when she gets that, when she gets the grandma thing going up, Yeah,
I want
they
to see
cheat.
some of that. I want to bring
It's
some
on
of that out.
Yes,
YouTube.
it is. You should come
I'm
on
going to bring
you.
some of that out tonight. We want to play a part of the show.
Oh,
That's
they
all
said.
Wait a minute. Wait, we gotta do it like this. So, Boomerang, what's on
On
your
your
mind?
Your mind. So then I would say, I want to know, is cheating really against the rules? Right? So then
Not if
they're
you don't
all
get
of-
caught.
And then I sit there and do this.
See, then they say shit like this.
And then we just
Which
go
really-
in depth.
Because I have nothing to say when they get into the sex.
So cheating's not cheating if you don't get caught.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So see, that ain't what you expected here, is it?
Not for cheating.
Yeah. I don't say nothing.
I ain't going to say nothing either.
Yeah.
See?
See, because you've been cheating.
Yeah, there you go.
You.
Oh, that ain't
Yes.
I mean, kids, I'm not finished.
Baby, I'm on the
I'm
road
trying to
doing the
see where this
show,
is going.
but you really be across the street looking out the blind.
Okay.
No, I'm just trying to see where this was going.
What you say? Look, I'm
Me
not
in it.
fit.
I got my house is happy, baby.
We're not trying to upset nobody's happy home.
No, but it is. It's just topics, and then it opens. Opens
What's
up
the,
the door.
what's the craziest topic that y'all have done?
No, the family.
Oh, the family.
The family.
or
I love
thong.
the family.
How the thong. Not
The
all
thong
women
went
like
wrong.
the thong, because
Oh,
the thong
yeah.
can get into some
Yeah.
really interesting places.
No.
Yeah,
The
get
dong
lost,
went
too.
wrong.
I'm gonna tell you.
The dildo one.
Oh.
So you like that one.
Yeah.
No, we live. Let me tell you.
So is dildo cheating?
Not
Well,
if you
she
did.
I did. Wait a minute. This is the craziest thing. One of the shows, they were talking, and they had names for them. And I'm sitting here going like this. Well, dang, y'all just said y'all they ain't gonna teach me how to cheat. And I'm looking, and they talking and talking and talking. It took me 5 minutes to catch on that they was talking about a dildo. They had names for them, and I'm sitting up there going, was that what y'all talking about?
Because she has T-shirts for
And
hers.
she think
Yes.
in 25 years she'd have had 10 names come through her hands.
Not
25
one.
years.
See, y'all got jokes.
My funniest episode was when what was the question? Ladies, how do you keep it moist down there?
Oh, refresh.
She like refresh.
See? It was just so
Yeah.
awesome. I'm like,
No.
What is refresh?
Ah.
Let's go to the video, babe.
Do they make that for the man too?
Well, it is for the man in the
Definitely
It's
for the
for
man.
It's for the man.
You just don't have
a
to
good
deal.
time.
Yeah, it's for you
Yeah.
to enjoy yourself.
And then you, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Is you a young girl?
I didn't know what
You ever
refresh
seen
is
it?
either,
Me
so
either. I want
Y'all gotta go to
I'm
Walmart.
learning.
Watch
So,
the video.
Okay.
Uncensored Seniors and the
So
comedian.
yes, please go to
If
YouTube,
you
pull
watch
up
YouTube
Uncensored Seniors
and
and the
the
Comedian. And we have so many funny episodes for
Yeah,
you.
we have
So
Yeah,
y'all trying
yeah.
to take this on the road to different venues, or you
TV.
you do it on the social media?
Well, actually, it started from a project that we were working on before called it's
Vagina
Steps.
Monologue?
No, actually, no, it's actually Stepsisters of Atlantis because we're actually steppers, Chicago
we're
South
Chicago
Steppers.
South.
So we were working on getting this show picked up. We'd been in front of Oprah's people, some people for a couple of times, and then we had a couple of cast members pass.
Oh, okay.
So by the time we reshot our sizzle, it just kind of fizzled out. And so one day I said, I got a good concept. Can you guys, let's do this. And so we did it. And, my little editing is not the best, but we're having a good time.
Patrick Turner said it sounded like a good pilot for you guys to do.
Awesome.
If you go to YouTube, baby,
Tell him.
trust me, it's funny. I'm telling you, the family is the one I love.
The
Yeah.
family.
'Cause
She likes
this
the
one-
family.
I
I
love
like-
the family because this one is totally off the chain on that one.
The church lady?
No, that one,
he-
Miss Boom Boom.
Okay.
He know.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, let me tell you.
And then we have AB from the Boudoir.
Yes,
Yes,
and
and
She's like
so
a
funny.
walking, talking version of Prince.
Yeah.
But don't mess with her because she has an arsenal on her back.
Carries guns.
Carries guns.
Yeah.
Mrs. with the shit.
Yeah, she carries all the
Yeah.
Well, she used to be an ex-police officer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's
What
still
women
carrying.
have going on now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
what
but
them
it
sisters
is.
do.
Yeah.
And
grandmas
that's one thing
great-grandmas.
about us. We were all, it kind of drawn us together because we're all grandmothers.
Yeah.
But we're not your typical
Now,
grandmother.
well, ladies, let me ask y'all this: do you think these housewife shows putting a bad look on females?
Only when they fight for me,
Yeah.
because I'm a true I'm addicted to them. And I'm not even gonna lie, I do. But when they start all that fighting and bickering, they make us look bad.
Yeah, but they want that. That's what they're looking for.
No, that's what
You're
the
right.
citizens want.
They want
Well, they're not gonna get no fight from me.
Yeah, we're a little
I'm
too old for that.
60.
And
I'm
they-
not
they-
fighting.
Gave y'all your own show. They know how to pull a fight out because what they do is
She'll punch
you
the
say
shit out
one
of
little
somebody.
thing.
Fight the air off.
Hair gone.
They gonna offer you, they gonna offer you $1 million and be like, oh, you gotta do
I'm
this
beating,
show,
I'm beating everybody's ass.
Just
This,
slap us slow.
yeah,
I'll start praying. That's
yeah.
what
This
I'll do.
one,
I'll break out with the
she'll
oil and
start praying and stuff. But yeah, I'll start the fight. This one, boom, she'll be right with me while she over here acting like she not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we from.
I just think that it says that women can't be friends with nobody.
Oh, this.
Oh,
Well,
you're
yeah.
talking about, it does kind of give you that eventually because they're always fighting.
Because it's for they looking for a dig. We're not digging each other. We are uplifting each other, and it's all about being funny. It's really all about the funny part.
Yeah.
It's not serious. It's funny. Every
It's being able to
episode is
laugh off
funny.
life. That's
Yeah.
But
Spe-
people don't want that on TV. You got to have the drama.
Not always. There's a nice portion of the audience that is actually
They're looking
all right
for
with
that.
it.
They're looking,
That's
you know.
that's a 6-week show right there.
Well, that's 6
what
weeks.
it
That's
is
worth
when
the
we gonna
money.
fight.
Damn, you just, week 17.
You
We'll
ever, you
fight.
ever do it on a live show? You ever do it on stage somewhere?
Uncensored Seniors. We actually just
We haven't.
started.
Yeah.
We have only been at this a couple of months.
Yeah, only
Yeah,
2
we have a little
months.
following. We don't have a lot of people because we're not marketing the way we want
No,
to. but
I'm
we have,
marketing the way
we
I
probably
want to.
got
This one
you
is-
know, a couple of thousand views, and
Yeah.
we have 11 videos
Yeah.
because we all work for somebody else, and I do the editing. So when I sit down, I'm a perfectionist. It takes
She
me
won't
6
do the
hours.
bloopers. I want her to do the bloopers. The bloopers is off the
That will
chain.
probably
That's-
be.
that's- what I'm
Yeah,
working
the
on. Yeah.
bloopers is crazy
you
because
gotta put it
she
out
won't let me cuss like I really want to like get on in there and just.
She will throw some prayer on you fast.
Yeah,
Like,
she
wait,
was
hold on.
okay. You hear all that going
Now,
on?
he got his own action. So maybe y'all can blend something with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, sometimes
Follow-
we need a
follow-
male.
You can
Yeah,
get me
that's
off the
cool.
plantation. I'll be there.
He got a comedy spot. He got a
Yeah.
comedy club.
I'm also a comedian, and I do skits.
She's
We
a
could-
comedian.
I love working with other comedians, other actors. Let's do it. So now,
Absolutely.
I ain't gonna say that and then we leave here and it don't materialize. Like let's get it done.
No,
Hey,
Let's-
I'm
Let me
60.
tell
I
you
got to let a
what
whole
they
lot
do
of stuff
without my-
materialize. When
Hey,
you
let's
60,
do
you
it.
got to let some stuff happen. I ain't got much
I'm
time.
gonna learn. I ain't there
Yeah.
yet.
No, you the young baby. We call her Baby Bop.
In case you just tuning in, I'm sitting here with the uncensored seniors and the comedian.
Yes, sir.
I'm a man, actor, de jour, Atwood in the house,
Ashwood,
and also producer, manager, Mr. Chris Dipetta in the house, owner, one of the owners of Punchline Comedy Club here in Atlanta. So in case you just tuning in, that's what we have in the show tonight. Give us a call. If you want to talk to anybody we got on the show you've been watching, 478-569-6474 is the number to call. 478-569-6474 is the number to call. And you see,
I need a date.
Oh,
We ain't doing uncensored seniors
Date.
900.
you
Not
ain't
too
dead in
much.
25 years.
right. Why start now?
Hey, I'm waiting. I'm
She
like
wants to know
auctioning
what to
myself
do.
out.
Yeah, you auction
I'm
yourself.
auctioning myself out.
Girl,
Okay,
don't
then.
make this
All
man go
right.
broke.
You gonna go broke? Oh, dang well.
So anybody, like I say, man, give us a call. If you're in Atlanta, coming up, ATL, I know Christmas is coming with the Punchline.
That's right.
They always do great shows for Christmas time, Thanksgiving time. I don't know who y'all gonna have this year for Thanksgiving.
I have no idea.
But if you ever in the ATL, come through and check out.
The comic is
And my man,
trying to get the hook up.
my man, de jour, Atwood. What night is Valor airing on?
If they didn't say it, but the first night it's October 9th.
October 9th
yeah,
is
October
the
9th.
first show of Valor. Check that out.
Yeah.
Check my man, de jour, Atwood. I keep that name.
Ashwood.
Ashwood.
Yeah, we get it.
See, I'm country like that. Ashwood, okay?
That's what
It looks like a great show. I've seen the trailer. It looks
Yeah,
really
trailer's
good.
dope.
What is it about? What's the show about?
It's a military show.
Military
It takes
show?
place, current.
Wasn't
and
it a movie called Valor?
It was, yeah, it was.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
kind of based off of that.
Oh, okay.
I think they gonna be shooting for the first season is like probably about 12 episodes, but it is dope. 2 actors, the main leads, they're from LA. It's just y'all gotta see it. It's just dope.
Wow.
Definitely.
I like.
I auditioned for
I'm
that.
mad. I'm mad at military movies because they never have a black hero. They say Ryan, they say Steve, they say Bob, they say Pat. Nobody say Duke, Blue Roy, none of them.
Tyrone
What we
going
at?
down.
I don't know, man. You know, ever since Wesley Snipes got in
Oh, yes, sir.
no good movies.
Yes, sir.
Oh man.
Wait a minute, they say whatchamajig, didn't they? What's that man name? Denzel? Didn't he get saved?
What's his name?
What's it?
What's
Denzel.
not-
Boy, she hasn't been doing it
Denzel.
for 25 years.
That's why.
Denzel and
That-
Idris Elba are two names you do not stutter
Yeah, you
on.
don't what's
They
his
just
name.
roll
Either
off.
one of
Idris
them.
is a smoking actor.
Yes, he is.
he's great.
Yes.
He really
Yes,
is.
you are. No.
He got so much range that he can
Who's
do so
Idris
much.
Yes.
We got another caller coming in. Caller, how's it going, caller?
Hello, how you doing?
I'm fine. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I have a question for Mr. Deja Ashwood.
Go ahead.
Yeah?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Ashwood, how long have you been acting for? I've seen a lot of your things on YouTube, and it's phenomenal.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I've been acting. I've been training for about 7 years, but I've been acting for probably about 10.
Wow. See.
Wow.
Yeah.
See.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you.
one of your great fans, man. I mean, they know me as Rushman, but I'm one of your great fans. Been watching you acting for a long time.
I appreciate you, man. What you said your name was? Ruxpin?
I mean, you see what?
What's your name?
They call me Rushman.
Rushman.
Oh, okay.
All right, Rushman.
Okay.
Appreciate you calling tonight,
Appreciate
man.
you calling, man.
And thank you for calling.
Thank you for having me. See
And
you
keep watching
later,
him. Keep
Sam.
watching him. October the 9th. Check him out on Valor on CBS.
October the 9th?
Yes,
October
sir.
the 9th. He'll be on Valor on CBS.
I'll watch it.
All
Thank
right.
you so much. Later, guys.
All right.
Bye.
And also out there watching Mr. Teddy Askin and Mr. Don Dortez Green is watching, and Ned Whitty. I told you, screen them people. That was that.
Jesus.
You know, we don't screen it, you may get one there. You know But hey, tell people, Chris, how to get in touch with you if they want to not get in touch with you. I know.
Never.
You know exactly how. But I mean, how to follow you. I know you guys got another club out in Huntsville.
Yeah, Huntsville's that's our newest club, and it's called Stand Up Live in Huntsville. It's a great club. I mean, really great club.
How's it doing out there?
It's been terrific. You know, it's funny because you really don't think of Huntsville. Huntsville's not really Alabama. It's a very
outside.
diverse area, and it's got
It's a military town.
Yeah,
too,
well,
so
yeah, but it's got NASA there and technology, and you know, there's a lot of people from all over the world that live there. So it's a little different than regular Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good. Yeah. I shouldn't say too much. So I'll be in town this weekend.
Right. It's not regular Alabama. What I don't know what that tide, roll tide, you know, roll tide. Yeah, but that's cool, man. Because I was talking to one of the cats. He was saying that Huntsville, the room in Huntsville was very nice, and he was saying because he was saying because the military crowd, people from all over the world.
Right.
He was saying the same thing with military crowd, but I know it's that. But it's all like you say. I like going to Huntsville because you go up over the mountains.
Right.
I go to
It's beautiful.
Shortcut.
Yeah, it's a beautiful.
That's the
area.
only reason I like going to Huntsville. I go up over the mountains to
Yeah,
get
right.
to it, and you can see the whole. I don't know if you ever go there.
See
When you go to
Tennessee.
Huntsville, instead of going to Chattanooga, you can go up over the mountains
Yeah.
and look down and see all the hills and valleys. That's the reason I like going to
Yeah.
Huntsville. But it wasn't. Your club wasn't there then.
No.
Yeah. So now I got to go see your club.
that means we got to book in there. Say,
Yeah.
I
Got to
see.
book me with the queens.
That's right.
Oh, honey child, yeah.
That'll work.
Well, you girls should try. I mean, not for anything, but you should do a night. We'll do a night at the Punchline. You know, we'll do a night for you, and just and you just tell all your people, put it up. We'll figure out how it could work, and it's just we'll see. You know?
Hey,
You know?
great. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Y'all keep working on it for about another year. Get
A year?
A year.
You ain't ready now.
Who said? How you gonna be up in our head?
How you just gonna put us out?
Thank you. Oh yeah.
No,
Some of us got a birthday this
Let's
week.
be practical.
Yeah, some of us got a birthday in 2
Let's be
weeks.
practical. She just said your following is not that big. And
Well,
so
that's
get
true.
your
And we
following
heard
up.
him say that you
And
need the
when you
people to
get
know
there-
that you're going to be
That's
there.
right. I'm being practical. And
That's why we on your show.
But you took my joke because I was telling her that I was going to go naked online. We get a following then. Then you get.
Y'all be
And
hurting
then
no
you
big
said
people.
you tried it a
business.
few times.
you the church lady, remember?
I know.
Let the freak do it, okay?
She ain't here.
Let the closet freak do it.
She
okay?
ain't
No,
here.
I'm the closet.
No,
No,
he-
I know what he's saying.
25 years,
She
she
ain't.
closet freak. You hear me? Something going on y'all don't know about right
They
there.
said she got more than jackets. For
Yeah.
her.
Oh, see?
The sure can see that. He's a young man.
Don't say nothing,
He's
honey.
a young man.
Don't. Thank you. Don't mess around with old people. Don't let him pull you in there. You
So,
get
Sure,
trouble.
what you got coming about the Valley?
At the ballot, my own material.
Okay.
Working on a short film. This short film, shout out to my whole team, you know what I'm saying, by any means necessary. We got a joint that we're working on, and it's called Stuck. It's about an individual that's stuck in an elevator, and we kind of deal with a lot of the social things that's going on. You know, with the whole, you know, black and the police brutality. So we're gonna take a certain amount of characters, and we're gonna put them in an elevator and see how, if they was alive, how they would exist.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's
that's
Wow.
interesting. Yeah.
Wow.
that.
I just ain't getting no
in the
class.
elevator. Yeah, that could
Yeah.
So that's the next thing we're working on. But I'm always working, always, you know what I'm saying, keep my
That's
tools
so
sharp.
cool.
Yeah. What's up, Sharice? The camera, how you doing out there in New York
Sharice.
watching? She's out there in New York. She's from your hometown.
Oh,
She's
okay.
watching.
Nice.
So-
Shout out to Sharice.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
And so, tonight, I'd like to thank all y'all for coming through.
Man.
Thank you for having me.
I mean,
Thank
this
you
is-
for
this is
having
the
us.
Bo Peep Show. This is the way we do it.
Yes, sir.
We don't have no breaks. We don't have no commercials.
Right.
We're waiting on sponsors. We're waiting on
Yeah.
We
sponsors.
said we don't have none of them either.
Yeah.
But
But
we looking.
We got something in the works.
Well, as you, look, I just want to say a quick.
You ain't got to go. You ain't got to go nowhere.
Okay, because I just want to tell you.
Yeah.
Sound like a commercial break, didn't it?
No, yeah, it did. But look, I'm glad. I thought you were trying to get out here. But let me just say, I want to give a shout out to all the cast members on Twisted, Tangled and Twisted. I was just I featured in there in that episode. Also,
Is that one of them shows where they kill
Tales.
people?
They kill a lot of people. They didn't
kill
kill me though. It was beautiful. I love being on the show. It's awesome. I want to thank you and give y'all a shout out. And then also Tales. I'm on episode 99 Problems.
Oh, okay.
So I want to give them a shout
Look
out.
at you.
She acting. What
Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
my girls, and I also perform. I just performed at Laughing Skull last night. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ain't got to be in Hollywood. Be in
yeah,
Hollywood.
look,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Look, Hollywood, we is in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah. We is
But
not
the
Hollywood.
Tangle and Twisted, is that one when the women killed them, go crazy? That one there?
You know what? It's actually the
Cause a friend of mine, she
was in it.
She created that show, Wives with Knives.
Ooh.
And I think Tangle and Twisted is one of her other shows.
Jesus.
well, it's definitely a
What kind of people you
it's
hang out with?
He's gonna make me
it's a
nervous.
show where it's actually a young man whose parents end up taking their life due to drugs and stuff. So he's been living on the streets and kind of going through different struggles out here in Atlanta. So it's filmed here and based on a true story. So
Oh, okay. So she's from Denver. Yeah. And so she's so used to legal weed, she don't know how to act when she comes out.
right,
Yeah.
I gotta do a lot to get it.
Yeah, she don't know how to act.
Wait a minute. A whole lot to get it.
And so we're trying to get this state to pass it so you feel more at home.
I appreciate that.
It
You
would-
know what
it
I'm
would
saying?
help.
Shouts out to whoever's working on
We
it.
doing all we can.
Shout out to whoever.
To whosoever.
Whoever's working on it, shouts out to you.
When you were managing your company, you ever have a problem with Tommy getting in trouble with the law, or you get them kind of calls in? Like,
Talking to you.
crazy?
You, not me.
I was gonna say, please don't have
kidding
manager
me?
shit.
You get a lot of
You know how many
calls.
times I've gotten guys out of jail, you know, guys or girls, you know, that they've been with,
Right.
you know, for DUIs and a variety of, I mean, everything possible, you know, and it's not been so bad about the past 10 years.
Yeah.
In the 80s, it was it was risky, you know, it was risky business then, the 90s too, but
the 80s
you
had
know,
the crack.
everybody's kind of,
Right.
everybody's kind of calmed down somewhat. Either that or
It's the weed.
they're
It's
young,
compounded.
yeah. Yeah, that too.
wow.
You know, once you get a little older, you calm down.
You're right.
Yeah,
You know,
You're right.
I had a young lady over here last week. She managed the comics for years. She started Tina Graham.
Tina
sure.
Graham.
Yeah, and she was talking about how many people she had to get out of jail, and I was like, how they y'all do that?
That's
Just in and out of jail, just in and out of jail. I never got in jail.
Yeah.
I never had a problem.
Like the Dallas Cowboys.
My manager never had a problem with me.
In and out of
with none of
jail.
that. You know, it was like, Bo was, why you didn't show up maybe to the big party? Because y'all gonna go wild. I didn't want to go to that party.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
I had some parties in Hollywood, Chris. I had a party one time, right? I just signed with Russell Simmons. So Benny Medina threw me a party at the Skybox.
Nice.
Right. So Will Smith is coming. All the other big cast, Stan Lathan, everybody's coming. I'm hanging with a basketball player all day. He's drinking. We drinking Hennessy, smoking cigars, drinking beer, smoking weed all day long. And didn't eat anything. I get to the party. They get to ready to introduce me to everybody. I come out. I got to run to the bathroom. I throw up all the way across the bathroom at my party.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
that was.
It's a
That
good
was
party.
one of those parties. I can tell you like
And
that.
that's why Bo's on Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Shouts out to you.
Okay. Like, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my party. That was my party days. After that one, I said, I can't do that no more.
Anything
You,
worth
you,
doing.
you got invited to any of those Hollywood parties?
I've never really got. I mean, I got invited to some crazy New York parties, but once the drugs start coming out, that's when I take 5. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're not beating the crack and cocaine. It ain't gonna happen.
No. But yeah, I tell a lot of people, you go to LA, you gonna get invited to those back room parties.
Really?
And you
Yeah,
gotta-
I was
you-
there in
you-
April. You're right.
You
They
gotta know
still
how to,
have it.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go out.
I'll tell you a funny story. Well, I'll do a quick story. My son, Don, he got invited to the Playboy Mansion before they closed everything up for the pajama party, which is they're not pajamas. They're all wearing. They get painted. The girls get painted. They're naked, and he was so excited because when he went there, it was like 23.
Right.
So he went there with a friend of mine. And they went up, and he started drinking like immediately as soon as he got there, and just it got to the point where he was so happy that he was there. I mean, he's seen all these celebrities and all these women and everything, and he's just standing around. He went to the grotto,
Yeah.
but he got so smashed they had to take him out.
Oh, wow.
Okay? He was there like 45
Right.
minutes,
Right.
and they just carried him right out.
Yeah,
you know?
'cause he was trying to fit in too
Throw
fast.
it
yeah.
back. Throw it
Nah.
back.
Yeah.
Gotta pace yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. 'Cause, you go to those parties, they be wild. I've been to some in the Valley. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is devil. This is evil.
Yeah.
This is what Hollywood is, though. It's evil. And then, if you don't party with him, then they're like, oh, he too good. Okay, we'll leave him. Come on, we're going to go to another party. But he can't go. I'm like, okay, then you get cut out of the in crowd. Then you got to stay in the
Yeah,
in
the
crowd.
guys that do parties now, the ones that own the pot stores, those guys
Oh,
do.
yeah.
They
At
do
their
some
house.
major partying.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
seriously.
Oh,
They have
really?
a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have more money than sense,
Right.
and they can't put the money in the bank, so they
Right.
spend a lot of money. They,
Oh,
just,
wow.
they just party a lot. They do
But
crazy
the taxes
stuff.
are so high, you put it in the bank, you
Right,
get taxed so high
right.
for it.
We're not
Well,
allowed.
the bank,
You're
the
not
bank.
allowed?
Feds, no, because it's technically it's federally illegal.
right.
Banks are federal, buildings really, so they
Yeah.
can't.
They won't insure
they won't
it.
handle the money. So all the money is done. Everything's cash. All of them, and everywhere is cash.
Don't tell people that. Don't go breaking them people's houses.
It's too late. They already doing it.
Okay, you did.
They got,
Ship
they
them
got
off.
machine guns to guard those guys.
got
They got,
machine-
they're loaded up.
They got a
with
lot of boomerangs out there.
Yeah.
What you call
Yeah,
that?
they
Other
have tons.
bodyguard?
Yeah, they got a bunch of
Got a
them.
whole
all
bunch
those
of them.
ex-ball players got a gig now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know Cheryl Adder? From
Yeah.
New York? She's
Yeah.
watching. She's watching.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, Cheryl.
Hey, Cheryl.
Yeah.
Hey, Cheryl.
Yeah, Cheryl. Everybody watches the show.
Yeah.
Everybody watches the show. But yeah, Cheryl out there, I know we're talking about dealing with clients and everything. Cheryl got a few clients of her own now. She's managing and matter of fact, she worked with Nick Lewis in his movie right now. And so Nick has a movie out.
Yeah.
Slinging Birds.
Nice.
And she's worked with Nick on that too.
Nice.
And so who's your agency?
My agency, Jenna Van Dyke Agency.
From
She-
here in Atlanta?
Yeah, she's in Atlanta.
Oh, so you don't have a Hollywood agency yet?
Working on that. Working
Don't
on
tell
working.
her that.
Hey, you know what?
No, no,
That's
she
real
cool with it.
hard.
She cool with it 'cause
That's real hard to do. I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of my biggest things
Yeah.
in LA with some of my clients is getting an agent for them. They don't want to do anything until you're on a show. If you're on a show, you real good chance you'll get an agent.
Yeah.
But until then, they don't want to have anything to do with you. They want to make sure you're making money before they sign you.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
that's the only way they're gonna
People
make
ask
it.
me all the time, "Bo, how I get a manager?" Hey, I said, when you get to making money, you don't have to. They will come.
They will come find you. They will come find you.
Their
That's true.
job.
That's exactly
It's
what
facts.
you
Because
tell me.
everybody want what everybody want at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If you're not doing it.
That
But
cash
like
out.
my agent, Jenna, she's real cool. And because I like when I went out to LA, I actually did a showcase out there, and 2 agents was interested in me, and I told them to contact her. It kind of like gives you more leverage when you
okay.
sit, because it's like having a job and looking for another job is easy. When you don't
Yes.
have nothing, it's hard to find something.
Yes, sir.
So I kind of use that as leverage or whatever. Yeah.
That's good. That's good that she's able to, don't have that ego. That
Right,
about,
yeah.
If you looking for another agent, you need to go now.
Right. Yeah. She don't want me to look for another agent here though.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good because
There's a lot of work. You can get a lot of work here.
Yeah.
My son has an agent here.
Yeah.
And he gets more auditions from the Atlanta agent than he does from anybody in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Well,
That's
LA
possible.
is a million, and like you said, once you get a job, it's like commercials. Once you get a commercial, you can get another commercial.
Yep.
Really?
But it's getting the first
It's
commercial.
getting that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I got a lot of friends who comics. I see them in commercials, and once I see them in one, I know I've seen them about 10 after
Yeah.
that, 5, 6 after that. But once you get in that first one,
Yeah.
it's easy after that. It's like I used to be in LA. We go to the audition for a commercial, and the guy that we seen in all the commercials, when he showed, everybody's
we got something like that here too.
And then he would walk right past us into the room, and he in there chatting with the director, the writers. We had to go. We looking at him. He in there chatting it up.
Yeah.
Well, we're not gonna get that one.
Yeah, it's something that happens when you book something or whatever, you work with something, right? You have like this momentum. I talk a lot about this a lot too. Is that when you got a momentum, it's easy if you just book something to book something else because you bring that energy, that momentum over there. It's like you're confident. But if you've been in a drought and you go to that next audition, you bring in a drought with you. Like, well, I didn't get that one, so I'm not gonna get this one.
Yeah.
So when you got that momentum, you just gotta just keep on going. Stuff just like you said, people come to you because they can feel it. They feel the confidence. Like, something about y'all. I want to be next to you.
You're right.
I know.
Because as a comedian, you need that moment.
Yeah.
You really do. When you hot, burn it down. Go everywhere you can.
Comic starting out now don't realize when I started, I did comedy 5 years before I got a dime.
Yeah.
Wow.
But now comics feel like when they come on stage, first day they should be, how much they gonna pay me tonight? And they just one time on stage. I mean, they gonna pay us tonight. Pay who? What are you getting
They're
paid?
paying attention.
Okay, that's all you need.
But how long? When do a comic know it's time to get paid? Chris, when you put ass in the seats?
Well, not really. I mean, you're going to start getting paid when you're hopefully a good host. If you can MC a show and you're a good MC, you get some work because they are a dying breed. Nobody wants to be the MC. They think it's the opening act.
Okay.
The true thing is you're the master of ceremonies.
Yeah.
And you should be able to run the show. And it's very important to know how to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what I look for in guys who are coming up. I said, boy, because not for anything, an MC can work. He can work a couple times a month. Where
headliner.
Headliners once every 6 months.
Yeah.
A feature act you might be able to work every 3 months. So if you're a good MC, you can work all the time.
Yeah.
Really, truly.
That's why I love the host.
It's a hard job.
Joe certainly does ours at our place. He works more than anybody, just pretty much.
Nice. Yeah.
Now Boomerang goes back and forth to Denver, and
Just to pick up her stash.
I perform.
That's you.
What's the
I'm
name of the
sorry.
company?
Yeah, I'm about out. I gotta go to Denver.
Yeah. What's the name of the comedy club you work at out there?
Denver Improv.
You know the Improv?
Randall.
I know. Yeah, I know. Tony
this
Baldino
time I
owns
just
it.
did Winter Park.
That's
Tony
like a
Baldino.
gangster.
Tony Baldino
Yeah.
owns it. He's the same one that has the Chicago Improv.
Oh, okay.
He owns that
Okay.
one. And
Yeah,
that was
so
a
she goes
tough.
back
That's
to
a tough room. That's not an
It
easy
is,
room.
but it was fun.
Yeah.
And I killed it. So.
Nice.
There you go.
That's right. That's right.
And but like you say, sometimes I go host, sometimes I'm featuring or headlining, but it's and half the time they already have you staffed. You don't have to.
Yeah.
It's part of the competition. And I love them.
Yeah.
Get that stash. Get that stash. Girl, go on, get
You need a
that
little brown envelope with your check.
Man, it's like Jamaica. You just like, what is this? It's Like, I remember when weed was just green. Now it's like all these different colors. They got nicknames and stuff. People, I don't know.
It upsets me. I used to have, you know how hard it was trying to find weed at 3 in the morning. You know, now people can just go to the store.
Yeah.
You know, and just say, oh yeah, I'll have whatever kind you got.
They pick it out like they pick shoes.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
Hey, it changed my life when I got a receipt for weed. I'm telling you. I
Yeah.
blew my mind. For real?
Yeah. You go in the store and they tell you, cut off the phone, please. You may not talk on your phone while you're in the store. You have to cut the phone. I was like, why? You think I'm going to call a whole bunch of people over here and make you some money? He's like, well, I ain't cutting off my phone.
Oh, see, them down
In California, they make you cut off your phone.
They won't let you take pictures either. Will they?
No,
You can't take pictures of the weed.
you can't take pictures of the weed. So that's the reason why they make you cut the phone off.
You can't take pictures.
When we were talking earlier, to someone out there who's want to start a comedy club, I know not in your market, tell them no. But if they got a different market, they want to start a comedy club. What are some of the things they need to be concerned about? Because I got a couple friends who bought comedy clubs.
Well,
They're not doing too well.
Well, yeah, I know. You know, it's a hard business, and it's not easy because, especially now, again, you know, because we have to deal with guys that draw to put asses in seats, you
Right.
know, and that's not easy,
Right.
you know, and I mean, there's so many expenses. You know, you're paying rent, you're paying utilities, you're paying insurance, you're paying employees, you're paying everything. You know, everything, and you know, the comics that are coming in, you're putting them up, you're paying airfare, maybe for your headliners. You know, so you got a lot of expenses going out, and you got to make sure that the person that you're booking, or the people you're booking, are good enough to make sure that kind of money comes in the door. And you know, now, I mean, there is a group coming to Atlanta looking for a club that I found out about, and the problem is they want to build a great big club in Atlanta, 550 seats. You know. I mean, restaurant, club, everything else. It sounds like a great idea. Unfortunately, for rent, something like that's $40,000 a month, $50,000 a month. Crazy. You know, you're working for the landlord. Then you know, it's like,
Right.
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me at all. So it's a tough business. It's
not
not.
$100 a head.
Yeah, you think it's easy. It looks like it's fun, but it is. I mean, it's fun, but you got to know what you're doing.
But to do it for 35 years successfully,
Yeah.
Was that just a connection with the comics? Well, how did it, 35 years, how do you sustain something like that?
Well, you know, I had a few failures in there too, man.
Yeah.
Don't you know? I closed a few clubs too. I mean, one time, like the Punchline, we had 16 clubs across the Southeast. You know, different franchise club. We were the largest comedy club chain in the whole country.
Right.
Nobody knew about it because it was very low key back then. It was in the mid '80s when this was happening, and then slowly but surely I had left, and my partners and I had fights, and slowly but surely every club closed except the Atlanta club. You know, they all went. You know, they went south. Right. And then other chains started coming up, you know, Funny Bones and Improvs, and you know they all came to Atlanta, and they all left Atlanta. You know, they all came and went away. Yeah. You know, there's a couple of independent clubs here now that you know the Atlanta, was it Comedy Theater? What's Gary's club?
Atlanta Comedy Theater.
Comedy Theater.
Well, you know, Uptown is closing in November.
No, really?
The property got bought out.
Did it really? So they're gonna move? They're gonna find somewhere else?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The strip club too got bought out, so you know they.
Right. That's probably a big advantage.
Wow.
You know, that's actually. I mean, that's great for Gary for a while. They'll be doing. You know, they'll be cranking it out there for a while.
Yeah.
But then you never know. The thing is, in Atlanta, there's so many venues and so many people. You know, a lot of guys come in concert now. They just work one day. You know, they don't want to work a whole week in a club.
Like Dave Chappelle came to town and did. Yeah. Now that is.
How about Chappelle did? No, he did 14 shows in 2 weeks.
Right.
Sold out every one.
Wow.
Okay. And then Chris Rock came in the following week and did 7 shows, just to do 7 shows and sold out 7 shows.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you do. Competition you have.
Dave just bought 30 dates in New York. He just bought the theater out for 30 days in New York.
That's crazy. Really.
And he bringing in his friends on different nights. Like Chris Tucker was going to do one night with him. I think Chris Rock was coming to do one. And a lot of just bringing in different cats with it. But he's sold out 30 days.
Yeah, I mean, he's just having fun with it. You know, it's like, he's got enough money he can do that. You know, other people got to work for a living.
Yeah. Now, when you were booking these rooms, who are some of the comics that you just book and you know they're gonna sell out no matter whatever happens, they're gonna sell.
Well,
out.
you got to remember back then I was booking Jay Leno. I was booking, I was booking Chappelle. I booked. God, who the other guys that we booked? Seinfeld. Yeah. I mean, everybody who was a major star.
I threw them on the wall. That's why I'm asking.
Tim Allen. All those guys were like regulars.
Yeah.
Ron White and all those guys, Larry the Cable Guy, and people like that. And then there's just so many other, so many other guys that just came up. And then when I had Uptown, it was pretty easy to book because we booked Steve, we booked Chris Tucker, we booked Bernie. It was like those were the guys who were available to work in the club. Yeah, I'm going to book them. Absolutely. Yeah. And then they exploded, all of them. And they all were making a fortune. So you got to get creative, but there are a lot of guys that are tremendous comics that don't do it.
I know, like Pablo Francisco.
Right.
He comes to town. He sells like.
Yeah, he sells pretty good, but he's not what he used to do.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan kind of hammered him a little bit for stealing material.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bill Burr sells.
Oh, Burr will sell anything. It doesn't matter. Yeah. He'll sell a lot of anything. Kevin Hart just comes out to play.
Right.
He just
hangs
around.
I know y'all did Chris Tucker a couple years ago. Well, about a year or so ago, before you left the Roswell.
Right.
And you booked. I think Marcy called me on a Tuesday. Said, "Can you get Chris for it?" I called back on Wednesday, and he was sold out in one day.
Yeah.
It
was pretty easy. Well, I mean, he played the club, and he played what's his face club too. He played here too, didn't he? Our club,
the new
Punchline.
Yeah.
He went up one night.
Yeah.
Just came out and decided he wanted to work.
Yeah.
So if he comes to the door and he says he wants to work, you go, okay.
Come on in.
Sure. Steve Mason said hi to these watch. Steve Mason.
All right.
And also, I was gonna say to you too is Chris has been on me about starting a new room where the veteran comics can come work out.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, it's not, even though there's a lot of spots around town where comics are doing, but back in the day, open mic was the night when the club really made money,
right?
Because they didn't have to pay the comics. All your headlines.
You think Chris would have learned his lesson and doing the comedy club?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Man,
he learned
got
about
hammered.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had one here.
Yeah.
He had one here for about a year, maybe a year and a half.
About 2 years.
Maybe 2 years.
2.5 years.
It was tough. It was a tough go there.
Yeah.
I think the place is a parking lot now.
Yeah. Because they expected Chris to come every night.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the problem. They expected Chris to come every night, and Chris wasn't coming every night.
Right.
So but he because it's funny to me, like him and George Wallace and these cats are still touring, and George still comes around with a notepad. When he comes to a workout, still got the notepad. Chris, he still got his notes,
Wow.
And it's just amazing to see people like that who steady reviving and just rejuvenating themselves in the comedy.
Well, he does that too. Damon Wayans. He would come out in the improv, and he'd come out late. He'd come out for like 10:30 or 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And he'd just say, "I want to go up," and they'd go.
Want to be the last one?
Yeah.
Too,
And he'd just stay on for 20 minutes or a half hour and just work material. That's all he would do.
Nice.
I used to watch Eddie Griffin and Paul Mooney and Carlos Mencia and Jerry and those guys in L.A. come in the comedy store after everybody's finished. It may be 2 or 3 people sitting there, and they would keep the people in there for 40, 45 minutes, just working on the material.
Love it.
They wouldn't care about the audience, but they wanted to hear themselves say it, and they were working on. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And then I learned how to sit there with 2 or 3 people in the audience and do a whole show. It was just amazing how you can keep people engaged in 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's awesome. Let me ask you a question for to a comedian. Do you think that one of your goals as a comedian is to kind of get into film, or do you think comedians prefer just to stand up?
That's an interesting question, because what happens, a lot of guys in L.A., they're working on 15, 20 minutes worth of material just to be seen, to showcase, and then hopefully get into a sitcom or get into a movie. That's what a lot of comics do. I mean, I don't really call them comics. They're trying. But they're doing, I mean, they may have a good 15 minutes, don't get me wrong, but that's all they want. They're not looking to be going on the road and make money. I mean, they just want to get seen and hopefully, sell. I mean, it's because being a comic's hard, man. It ain't,
Sure.
That's a lot of work. To be a real good stand-up comic takes, working almost every day, at least 5 to 6 years, and you really don't have your voice till about 10. You know, it takes 10 years to really be if you're going to be a really great comic, that's about how.
Did y'all hear that? See, that ain't me saying it.
Yeah.
That's why I got him on the show.
You know, there are quick ways. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of guys that are making their fast path and making money. You know, YouTube guys and things like that. But to really know yourself and be a quality act, I don't know any other way to do it. You know, other than your stage time.
You're right when you say about 10 years, because I remember about 12 years ago I was in Buffalo, New York, and I was in this. It was the most hoodest club ever. It was called Humboldt Inn. And Kevin Hart was there. Actually, it was. I'll tell you, it was hood. It was so hood. But he was there, and this is before he was Kevin Hart.
Sure.
But he was working hard. I remember, and he was willing to come out to a hole in the wall, and then boom, 12 years now,
Right.
he's a household name.
Yeah. Jacqueline in Alabama say hi too. She's a promoter. She promotes things. Now, man, I want you to speak to. You're a club owner. If someone out there who's trying to promote comedy, they need a venue like yours or some other venue to go into, tell promoters what's their step. What do they need to do to improve their game? Because what happening is the promoters are going in and they trying to take as much money as they paying the comics.
Well,
And then they're not getting the best comics because you're trying to take too much of the pie.
Well,
And then they're not promoting well.
that's always they're promoting themselves. I mean, that's okay.
Yeah.
The thing is, man, it's a numbers game. You know, it's a matter. You want to be a promoter. Yeah, no one said, hey, you got to be fair to the clientele. You know, what you're trying to do is bring people out to watch a quality show so you might be able to do it again.
Right.
Okay, now they may not have that in mind. They may just say, hey, look, I have a venue, I got 300 seats, I could probably fill it up and, put guys who are opening acts on, put 5 guys on and let them do the thing, and people would be, hey, that's terrible, I'm not coming again. But he got his money and he paid everybody $50 and he's on his way.
Yeah. And so we don't need no more of them. Not that that ain't you, Jacqueline. She's a good promoter. She just came on.
She be cleaning herself up quick.
No, Jacqueline's a good promoter. I've worked with her before. But I'm saying now in the business, I get calls all the time from guys when I put on shows, but they have no idea of what it takes to put on a show.
Yeah,
And
it's not easy.
Where to put on a show either.
Yeah.
You can't just put on a show because there's an empty venue.
Right.
That venue may not be in the right part of town for your type of event, your type of comics or whatever. It's so much goes involved in it. Where's the next comedy show coming to town? Who they got on that show?
Right.
They buying tickets for?
You're
What's
right.
the holidays?
You are
What's
so
the
right.
family stuff going on?
Because
And-
the promoters that's why I'm a comedian myself, but I put on a lot of shows just to showcase the awesome talent that's around here, because
smart.
these
Yeah.
promoters don't
Right.
promote.
Yeah.
I do ask him. He was just booked on one of my shows.
Right.
I have to.
But the thing is,
And
you
you
should make money if you're doing
Yes.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
you should
You
make
should.
some money if you're doing that.
Right.
You're putting the time and the effort in.
Right.
So, I mean, you should get paid. I mean, I'm all about everybody getting paid.
See,
You
that
know?
right.
That's
and,
what it's
and
about.
that's what I feel. I feel like everyone should get paid, but he's right. Like the promoters is like, oh, here, let me, this mine, and then you can have.
Yeah,
Well,
but see,
it's like what?
All right, I got to get out of here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. My time is up.
Yes.
I thank y'all for watching the show tonight. I'd like to thank my guest tonight, my man, Mr. DeJour Ashwood in the house.
Yes, they
thank
do.
Actor, comedian Boomerang in the house.
Yes.
And her friends and lovely stars.
Uncensored seniors and the
Uncensored
comedian.
Seniors.
and the comedian.
And the
And the
comedian.
comedian, I forgot your name.
That jubilant Jubilee.
Jubilant.
And I'm Queen from Queen's Quarters.
Queen from Queen's Quarters. And also my special guest tonight, Mr. Chris Dipetta. I'd like to thank all y'all for being on the boat show
Thank
tonight.
you.
Appreciate y'all for watching.
Shouts out to Miss Avis.
Yes.
We love you and miss you.
Yes.
And thank everybody for watching tonight. Keep watching me on the Bo Peep Show. Instinct Radio is where you can follow up the show and also follow up on Facebook Live on my show. You can follow up and follow the DeJour Show, DeJour's page, on my page.
Comedian Boomerang
Instinct
on my
Radio got a page. Periscope, you name it. YouTube, Twitter, we on everything live. Thank y'all for watching, man. See y'all next week. It's
Yes.
the Bo Peep Show. We out. Thank you very much.
Station in the world playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.